Howdy y'all, Christi here with Little Salty Homesteader. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to my garden. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about some different ways that you can direct sow your carrot seeds. I have 5 different methods for getting your carrots growing in your garden, from the most basic direct sow in the soil all the way up to adding a few more little techniques to sort of help thin those seeds before they start germinating. Carrots are a cool season crop that can be challenging to grow. They are biennial, meaning if you leave them in the ground, the plant will go to seed in its second year. If you plant carrots when it is too warm, you may only get the leafy tops and scraggly roots, so it is best to sow the seeds in fall or spring. Here in North Texas, I tend to have much better luck sowing my carrot seeds in the fall compared to the spring, because the fall is cooling down, but the spring gets hot way too quickly for those roots to fully develop. Carrots are also better direct sown, as transplanting can cause misshapen or damaged roots. Carrots require loose, fluffy soil that is rich in phosphorus, but not too much nitrogen. Otherwise, all you will get is leaves, and your carrot roots that you're trying to grow won't actually develop the way that you intend. Amending your soil with quality compost and bone meal should get you off to a good start, but slow release fertilizer will help your plants maintain optimal nutrition. Adding some sand to your soil will help create the soil texture carrots thrive in, because they do require that loose soil. The sand will kind of help get in there and break things up a little bit. There are several ways you can sow your carrot seeds, but the most important thing to remember is to keep the soil consistently moist and cool. Carrot seeds germinate best in soil temps of 50 to 65 degrees with a minimum of 40 degrees and a maximum of 75 degrees. Now, keep in mind that is the soil temperature, not necessarily the temperature of your air. Now, it is very, very hot here in North Texas, but underneath the shade cloth where my raised beds are, the soil temperature itself in those raised beds is much cooler. Carrots can take 14 to 21 days to germinate, so don't worry if you don't see progress for a while. I know that as a gardener, it's really exciting to see all those little seeds that you work so hard to plant, sow, get started indoors. It's really exciting to see them all pop up out of that soil. Carrots are kind of slow, so don't get discouraged. Don't say, I can't do this, I can't grow carrots. Just give it a little bit more time and make sure you're keeping that soil moist. The most obvious carrot planting method is to simply sprinkle the seeds in soil. The seeds are super tiny, so it can be difficult to space the seeds apart far enough. Most carrot varieties require 3 inches of space between them, but once the seeds germinate, you'll need to thin to that required spacing. So basically, you would make your little trench and then sprinkle your seeds in, cover it up, and then water really well. You could also dig the trench, add in a little bit of sand, add in your carrot seeds, and then cover them and then water in really well. Now, you're only going to want to cover with like a very shallow layer of soil. You don't want to make it like an inch deep. You only want, because the seeds are very, very tiny, you just barely need to cover it. Each remaining method requires slightly more effort in the planting phase, but could incur less thinning needs. Possibly the easiest of these methods I just mentioned would be to mix sand with those carrot seeds as you are planting them out. The sand gives a little bit of space between your seeds, reducing your thinning needs. The sand will also help loosen the soil for the roots to reach down and form properly. Many gardeners prefer to plant their carrots using seed tape, and that's how I will be planting my carrots out today. Seed tape has the seeds perfectly spaced, and you simply lay it into the soil and cover. The tape itself will break down, leaving only the carrots behind. You can make your own strips, or you can make your own tape, using strips of toilet paper, or you can purchase pre-made seed tape from suppliers like Haas Tools. By making your own, you can grow your favorite varieties and not what the suppliers decide will make the best carrot tape. The following 3 methods I have used with success. The first is to make a very thick cornstarch slurry, add the seeds to the cooled mixture, and put that into a Ziploc or piping bag and pipe that into your planting space. So it's almost the consistency of like cake frosting. That is how thick it is. So you will add a good amount of cornstarch to some water. I had a video come out in 2022 with the ratios of this, and so I can't remember it off the top of my head, but you'll make that slurry. You'll cool it all the way down. You will mix in your carrot seeds, put that into a Ziploc bag and cut the corner, or a piping bag and cut the corner, and then you'll just pipe that into your planting space, whether it's a trench, grow bag, raised bed, container, in the ground, however it is that you're going to do that. You cover that slurry with soil and water it in well. That cornstarch will break down, but this method also helps ensure there is space between your carrot seeds. So because you're kind of suspending those carrot seeds within that slurry, it really helps to make sure that they're going to be pretty well spaced whenever you pipe the slurry into your planting space. This next method is a great way to ensure the soil stays moist, but you still may have to thin your carrots after germination. You'll sow the carrot seeds in soil, water well, and cover with cardboard. Keep the cardboard from drying and start checking your carrots for germination after 10 days or so. Once you have about 70% germination, go ahead and remove that cardboard, because once they sprout, they will need light, otherwise they will die. Thin carrots as needed. You can also use a board or scrap plywood to follow the same method. It's essentially keeping those carrot seeds from dislodging during the watering process, or keeping them from all running off to one end of the bed. It doesn't really help so much with spacing, just helps keep them in place while they're trying to germinate. The last method is similar to using cardboard, but you use burlap instead. Once the carrot sprouts poke through the burlap, very gently pull or cut away the burlap. This one was the trickiest for me because I waited too long to pull the burlap off. So once the carrots start growing through, whenever you go to pull the burlap, those little tiny holes, it can dislodge those carrot roots. So I ended up having to leave the burlap the entire time the carrots were growing, and then I just like pulled up the whole thing all at once whenever I was ready to harvest my carrots. It worked all right, but the carrots didn't reach the size that they probably could have if I would have either removed the burlap on time or followed a different planting method. It did work though. Like I said, this year I am using carrot tape, and of course I'll keep you updated with the results. This is my first year using the tape. I thought that I would try it and see how it goes. It was really easy to make. This is just strips of toilet paper. I measured out where the seeds are going to go. I made a paste with just flour and water, a pretty thick paste to act as a glue, and sort of dabbed that on with a paintbrush, added the seeds to the flour paste, folded the toilet paper over, and voila, we have carrot tape. I labeled the tape with the variety name. I'll keep you guys updated on the results of that. Last week I did plant out dragon carrots using the same method, and this week I have Amarillo, Atomic Red, and Black Nebula that I'm going to be planting the same way. And then next week I have I have two varieties that will be planted out using carrot tape. Cosmic Purple and Danvers, I believe. Anyway, whatever method you choose for your carrots, I wish you a bountiful harvest this season. I know carrots can be one of the trickiest things for gardeners to grow. Like I said, here in North Texas, I've had far better luck growing them in the fall through the winter than I have in the spring, because it gets so hot so quickly here in the spring that they just do not do well. The other thing that I have found with my carrots that works really well is leaving them alone. I am a fidgety gardener and I want to see how things are going, but those root vegetables, you have to wait. You can't fidget with them, otherwise they won't come to fruition. How do all of you guys sow your carrots? Comment down below. Let's learn some other methods that maybe I didn't mention here. What tips and tricks do you have to getting your carrots to germinate and grow all the way through harvest? Comment with those things below. Right now, I'm going to talk about the 3 varieties of carrots that I'm planting today. The first is Amarillo, and this is named for the Spanish color for yellow and not for Amarillo, the town in Texas. These have bright yellow roots. They are sweet and juicy. They're around 8 inches once they reach their mature size, and they retain their flavor when cooked. In 75 days or so, you can expect to start pulling these carrots from the ground at their full size. And these are a great all-around carrots. You can use them fresh or cooked or frozen or dehydrated, however it is that you would like to prepare these. The next variety is Atomic Red. This is an 8 to 10 inch long, really crisp carrot. It has a red exterior and yellow-orange interior that deepens whenever it is cooked. This carrot reaches maturity in 70 to 75 days, and it contains lycopene, which is a fantastic cancer-fighting compound. It is the same antioxidant that is found in tomatoes. Additionally, with this carrot, its flavor improves as it is cooked. And the last variety of carrots that I'm going to be planting today are the Black Nebula. Even though the name says Black Nebula, it's not a black carrot. It is a very dark purple carrot. It is an open pollinated variety originally bred for the home gardener. It can be eaten fresh, roasted, steamed, or even used for dyeing things. It reaches maturity in 75 days. It has a high concentration of anthocyanins. That's what gives it the purple color. And the mature carrots are 6 to 8 inches long. So these are going to be a little bit shorter than the other two varieties, but between them, I will have a pretty awesome little rainbow going. All right, so let's go over to the raised bed. These are going to be going into the middle bed, and we will talk about how to get these guys planted out. Okay, I'm going to be planting my carrots in between my broccoli plants. I read that they're really good companion plants for each other. The carrots help repel some of the broccoli type pests, and then they complement each other because they require different nutrients from the soil. The broccoli being heavy nitrogen feeders, and then the carrots, because they're root vegetables, they're going to be phosphorus feeders. So I'm just going to kind of place these kind of in between the broccolis here, and I'm not, trying to be perfect here, just try to get them planted out without disturbing the broccoli too much. And I also still have peas growing here, so trying not to disturb those as well. So the way that this is going to work is I will take my Hori knife and I'll just make a really shallow trench here for the carrots. And this is about 1.5 inches wide, so I just need to make it 1.5 inches wide. Pop that in there, and then just loosely cover that with the soil. Remember, I said don't cover it too deeply. Just like that. And then we'll do the same thing here. Again, without trying to disturb the broccoli plants too much. Okay, so this section here is the Black Nebula carrots, and then I will move on to the Atomic Red and the Amarillo. So I don't know if you guys can see that or not. So this is 3 strips that's going to be planted right here. So very intensely planting the garden out this year to try to get lots and lots and lots of fall and winter food coming out. Spread that out. And there we have it. Okay, that was 14 strips of carrot tape planted out. There were 4 Amarillo planted here, and then 5 atomic red planted here, and then 5 5 black nebula planted in these 2 spaces. So at this point, all I need to do is water it in well. All right, those 14 strips of carrots are planted, and they're well watered in. It is really hot outside, so I'm going to go inside and get some water and enjoy the AC. If you liked today's video and you want to see more garden planting content, please like and subscribe and do all those different YouTube-y things. It's greatly helping my channel. But until next time, go find a way to get those garden manicures. Bye.